Welcome to our new series, The 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie.
And there's a scene that I've been seeing on TikTok every now and then, and it intrigued me, and I don't know why it intrigued me. So it's basically the scene, this family's on a beach, this oil tanker is just kind of coming for it, and this little girl's like, yeah, that's getting closer. They're like, oh, there's got to be a port around here. And it just keeps going closer and closer and kind of crashes into the beach. I'm like, all right, what the fuck is this?
Fuck.
This is on Netflix. This is called Leave the World Behind.
Yeah.
I love this. This has Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, who I love Ethan Hawke. I've loved him since I saw
love
him,
Ethan
before
Hawke.
Sunrise and Sunset. Sunset
Hawke.
was, Sunrise was first, Sunset was second. And then also a small role by Kevin Bacon. So,
Wow.
yeah, no, this is fairly new. This just came out in 2023. So, 2.5 hours roughly, but yeah, let me get into this. Yeah, no, there is a lot to this. And first of all, so Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts, they are married, and they are like, hey, let's just do a family vacation. We just need to get away. And they're like, okay, nothing seems on the rocks. They seem like a typical whatever family. And they rent this house from this guy. She finds it online. She goes there. It's this nice house, pool, everything like that. And yeah, so this, as I just kind of explained, they go to the beach, and weirdly enough, this oil tanker thing happens. They don't know why. They're like, what the fuck? Because like you kind of had that response, like, wait, what? Why? And as they get back, so they get back to the house. Because I also met part of that scene, like, as it's getting closer, like, grab your stuff, and they're running to the sideways, which FYI, kind of like a train. You kind of need to run towards the train or run sideways, just because if it's going to hit the car or hit something, you don't want to be in the impact of the car. So yeah, they're running sideways.
Yeah.
But anyhow, they get back to the house, and they realize none of them have internet. There's no real TV connection. It's all, obviously, if you remember kind of the old school, like the broadcast emergency broadcast system. So they're like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden they hear a knocking. And they're like, obviously she's freaked out. She's kind of like us, Soto. We talk about, not like, we don't like to deal with people. She doesn't want people around. She's kind of easily frightened. And he's like, Ethan Hawke is like, well, I didn't hear anything. And then obviously the knocking gets louder, and they answer the door. It's a father and daughter. And the father claims that this is his house. He lives here. He's the one that rented it, because with everything going on, they kind of had a tip, like something shit was happening in the city. So they left the city. They had nowhere else to go. So they literally were at like an art gala, and they came straight here. But obviously there's a little, they're like, well, how do we know it's you? And he's kind of joking. He's like, well, in the olden days, I would talk to people and you'd probably recognize my voice, but everything's done online. And so he's like, and she even, so she, because obviously they're questioning this. He seems not, and he's nice. It's not like they're trying to break in or send anything like that. And coincidentally, he just doesn't have his ID with him because he left it at his other coat that's left at the gala. But he does have keys, and he opens up the liquor cabinet. So there, you can sense that there's some truth to this, but you're already like kind of wary as an audience member. You're like, what is going on?
Right.
So it's not just that. So obviously they're kind of, they're kind of staying in the same house because they have no contact to the outside world at the moment. None of their phones are working, not just like the internet, but they can't even call anyone. And weird things are just happening. So like, so like all of a sudden, like all this deer is appearing in their backyard. They're just kind of just noticing people are just buying, like a bunch of water, So this movie, what it does well is it creates the tension, and as an audience, you don't know what the fuck's going on, because not only you're kind of worried about these two people at first, just like, who are they? Why do they appear? You say it's their house, but you're also like, what's going on in the bigger picture? Because there's something going on, but you do not know what. And he's like, and he's some sort of like, we had to leave. This city is getting crazy. We were lucky to escape. And, so again, there's nothing that says, that you don't trust the guy. You honestly, great actor. I think his name is I'm trying to pull it up Mahershala Ali. I think
Oh,
yeah,
he's a great actor.
yeah. So you know him, and so you believe him. Like there's nothing he does, but obviously there's that tension. But then things are going around. So he's trying to go into town, and they're just trying, because trying to figure things out. And he goes off to this kind of like this beach area, and he sees like this plane that has crashed. He's seeing remnants of like a plane, seats and whatnot. And as he's doing that, another plane is coming down and crashes nearby. And obviously he luckily escapes. So as you can see, because obviously with no internet, you're like, what's going on? So I think I don't want to spoil it too much, but this is pretty good. This feels like it should be a horror movie. This does what it needs to do because, I don't want to give away the end or what realistically, because when they hit you with everything, you're just like, holy shit, yeah, that's real. You're like, because Soda, what would this world come to without internet? What would this world? We've joked about this time. We were like, fuck the internet, but really think about this. If all of a sudden your phones and everything, you had no contact and you don't know what's going on, there is paranoia. There's, can I, not just trusting like everyone. Can I trust these people who, it's their house? So I am going to give what is a scene, and I'm going to this is not a spoiler, but there's the scene that I like. If anyone that's actually listening, turn it off. So it's funny, but when you think about it, you're like, holy shit, yeah, that could happen. So obviously they know he's the owner of the house, and they're like, listen, you take care of you, but we're going to my sister's place. We just need to be with our family. And then he's like, listen, the city you're going to go through the city. You need to stay here. It's safer. They're like, well, no, we need to do this. So he lets them go because even though he knows like they have to kind of go through the city. So all of a sudden they're coming to like where this traffic, and there's a bunch of white cars stopped. And obviously you're like, shit, but they all look the same. Even I was like, what the fuck? I'm like no one has different color cars. And Julia Roberts gets out and she's like, just stay with the kids in the car. I'm going to see see if anyone knows anything. And she goes to the cars and like no one's in any of these cars. And they all have like the sticker prices. They're brand new cars. They're brand new Teslas, Soto. And all of a sudden she's just looking like, how do they end up here? And all of a sudden she sees another white car way off in the distance, and she looks and it says self-driving. And now Ethan Hawke, his guy, now he's like, hey, I'm going to flag them down, let them know there's the traffic. And she's just like, she's yelling, get in the car. We have to get out of the way. And he turned, they get in the car. She turns it and the Tesla almost hits them. And so this is weirdly hilarious. But then you think like, yeah, I can see this shit happening, So, yeah, so I don't want to say too much about the end. And obviously because of this, they end up going back to the house. And, there's, just kind of these two families living here trying to figure out what's going on in the outside world, why all this shit is happening, what is going on. And so this is weirdly well. And you're the one that told me that Barack Obama and Michelle, they have like a movie studio. And I didn't even know that until you told me afterwards. I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm like, that's weird because... yeah, this is just deals with, I hate to say conspiracy theories because, some people have it, in this movie. Yeah. And you're looking at them, are they crazy? But are they right? But you follow the family. Like, they give you no information, So how we joke about not telling the whole story. You don't need the whole background to enjoy, to get. That's what this does, but it does it in a paranoia way. Because you don't know not knowing the big story is what's creeping you out. Because you're like, I feel like something's going on. I don't know what. I want to know what. But that's the whole point. When they get, kind of get to the end and they finally kind of show you what it is, you're just like, holy shit. Because you're like, that's what would happen if this would happen in real life. And that was scary. Like, sort of, this is in a way a horror movie, but a horror movie, the fact that this could realistically happen. But it dealt with two like horrors because again, we're private people, like you kind of just did this bed of bread, like, hey, we're going to rent this house. We're going to spend some money. We're going to just enjoy ourselves. You and Sarah are there. And then all of a sudden the owner of the house is like, listen, you don't have to leave, but we need a place to stay. We'll even give you like $1,000 off, but you're like, there's people. You're thinking there's people in our house, but I'm like, technically, it's not your house. This
Right.
movie, if you get paranoid easily, do not watch this movie. This movie deals with paranoia so well. And this is
Interesting.
one of the movies I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not saying obviously anytime soon, but if you got, it is 2.5 hours. It is a little on the long side. It doesn't feel like it. It keeps you going. So check it out. That, sometime next year, if it's just there, you're like, you know what, Chad said to see this movie. I'm going to see this movie. Um,
Not
because
expecting that.
yeah,
I was not.
this is not
You were
a
like, oh, you're like, I have a lot to tell you about this movie, and I'm like,
because
oh god, this must be some sort of weird, like politically freaking
no,
weird ass movie about the environment. I didn't expect you to say like, oh no, it's actually really kind of a thriller horror type mystery movie, like starring Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke. I did not expect that.
no, I agreed because yes, the title's weird,
And
and
Mahershala Ali.
but when you start, because me and you talk, joke about online and just living off love the grid. Yes, it's not a political movie, but there are going to be a couple scenes. Not that it's political, but like I said, the conspiracy theory, and it's if you believe that or not. So because obviously the world we live in. We did a podcast on this. Excuse me. That yeah, people honestly believe that, whether or not it's true or not. But when that one small thing happens, whether it's part of that conspiracy theory or not, it will rev everyone up. But yeah, so the way this movie is done, it does not tell you. You basically are looking through the eyes of what Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, and this family, their son and daughter, because they know nothing. They were just on vacation, and all of a sudden the shit's happened. They can't go home. They have to live in this house that is someone else's house, and they just know something is happening out there. And yes, there is obviously the distrust between families because not everyone gets along
Naturally.
easily. But so this is actually, like I said, I think you need to check this out. As we do.
A cast, quite a cast as well. Like, I mean,
Oh
I
God,
guess
a great
Ethan
cast.
Hawke, who is awesome. I don't think he would just do some random bullshit, just do some random bullshit. Yeah, he probably saw the script and was like, okay, so Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts. What do you think? How many bays would this be on the Blockbuster new release wall?
This would be a bay. This would be well because you got the stars. Because this is a
Yeah.
star-studded
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah.
So and obviously this would be like I don't even know if this was in theaters because I think this is a Netflix movie. So obviously times have changed, but 100%, I feel like if this came out in an earlier time, people would be talking about this. I feel like this would definitely be a bay. I mean, you got to go back. I mean, it depends when in our blockbuster cycle this is. Because towards the end it would be like a row because all the
Right.
just what I mean. But in the high, I can see this. Would be the hot new release. This would be the number one rental. Because yeah, Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke. It's a thriller. So yeah, this would have everything that would get pushed to the moon, and rightfully so. Where do I put this? So I can easily tell you this is top 10.
I'm stunned. I'm snookered.
I'm going back and forth with this another title where I feel like they can flip flop. I just think that other one shocked me a little bit more. So right now, I'm putting this at number 6, right underneath Brightburn. Brightburn and Leave the World Behind were just shocking to me because they were so much better than I think I expected it to be. So that's why they're kind of similar. So I'm looking at them because I'm like, I just think Brightburn, again, because it was kind of superhero, even though superhero, not superhero, just what that was. I don't know. This may flip flop another when I do my final look. But this feels like the right place for it because these two are similar, not in storytelling, but just the fact that there's a much darker, bigger picture. But it's the smaller stories that keep it going. So yeah. Leave the World Behind. I am putting at number 6, and so what I'm telling you right now, yeah, if you get a chance, just don't be in paranoid mood. Just take it for what it is. Just saying that right now.
Typically,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't have any conspiracy theories that I think about.
No,
At all.
but you've joked that the real world is scary, and that
Look, Market Basket, yeah, absolutely. Like I just did Market Basket today. That's the supermarket, and that shit was terrifying. I know that if there was a zombie apocalypse, I would have no problem starting to cut up some zombies. No problem.
yeah.
I feel like I've been ready, trained for it.